This is my third mini talk, and I'm calling it Healing of Envy. Envy. What a role it plays in many of our lives. It could begin with feeling a sibling got more love in the family because he or she was prettier, brighter, or more talented. In school, envy of classmates who were better looking or stronger or richer or had greater ability in sports or academics or were more popular. At work, envy of those higher up on the ladder or those more sought after socially or those with more sex appeal. In church life, envy of those closer to the priest or of the priest himself by those who wished they had that vocation. Family Christians envying the freedom of the singles, and singles envying the married and the parents. And of course we can envy those who seem more holy than we are, as in, how come she thinks Jesus is talking to her specially? If he talked to people that way, it should be me. Think about the horrible feeling in ourselves when we envy, such as low self-esteem in the area where we can't compare, bitter resentment that we don't have what the other does, admiration sullied by dislike of the one who is envied. Often there is a desire to find fault with the envied person, to run them down or gloat over their failures. One of my main areas of envy started with my unidentical twin sister Carla DeSola, a dancer, who was ethereal and graceful where I was clumsy with nervous, jerky hand gestures. In later years, I envied anyone with that kind of graceful beauty, such as certain women prophetesses in charismatic renewal who spoke with hands upraised and voices flowing with supernatural grace. What heals such envy? First, I believe we have to admit to our envy, no matter how shameful. Secondly, we need to trace childhood feelings of being less lovable because not as good in some respect as someone else. Thirdly, we should bring to Jesus our feelings of being less than another, our fear that he loves us less because we lack some quality another has more of. We can ask him to tell us how he loves us even if we feel inferior. After we have let him show us in whatever way he wishes that we are lovable, we need to repent of any ways we have hurt those we envy by gossiping about them or tearing them down. When we are healed, we will be able simply to admire those qualities we wish we had more of, rejoicing in being able to enjoy their gifts in others. Here is when healing of envy began in my life, the healing part. I was visiting a monastery of contemplative nuns. While waiting to speak to the superior, I sat in the chapel and observed them one by one coming in for prayer, able to sit in perfect stillness, wrapped in communion with the Lord. I thought to myself, how can Jesus love such a fidgety wretch as I am who can't sit still for more than 5 minutes? I will never be holy. Jesus seemed to speak in my heart with these never-to-be-forgotten words. You will never be a woman of that kind of peace. You are a Jewish convert, and you carry the Jewish yearning for the Messiah, the restlessness of it. In the church, your name is not peace, but yearning. If you have any envy in your heart, why not try the steps I suggested? Let me mention them again. First, admitting to your envy, no matter how shameful. Secondly, tracing those childhood feelings of being less lovable because not as good in some respect as someone else. Third, bringing those feelings of envy to Jesus, telling him how we fear that he loves us less because we don't have so much of that quality we envy in someone else. Asking him to show us how he loves us, even if we feel inferior. Repenting of ways we've hurt others who we're envious of, such as gossiping about them or tearing them down. And then asking as a sign of healing that we would be able to enjoy admiring people with qualities we wish we had more of, that we would be able to rejoice in their gifts. May God bless you and help you to understand your own special lovableness.